Just when you thought the situation in the Middle East couldn't become more turbulent and dangerous as it is already, we have the shocking news coming from Saudi Arabia and Turkey that they are planning a full-scale invasion of Syria. This news broke on the CNN Arabic division, saying that Saudi Arabia and its allies are mobilizing tens of thousands of troops to intervene inside of Syria. People are estimating that this is about 150,000 troops all the way from Morocco, Kuwait, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and of course Turkey and Saudi Arabia leading the major push for this. Russia has responded and says if this happens, this will be a declaration of war. As we know, the real reason why this is happening is not to fight ISIS, because we know the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIS all have its roots within Saudi Arabia. As we know, the United States and all those allies that we mentioned before that are planning this invasion all have strong ties to the Sunni rebellion inside of Syria, and they have been supporting, arming, funding, and giving arms and intelligence to the rebels, which have turned out to be Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, ISIS, and paid mercenaries inside of Syria to overthrow the government of Bashar al-Assad. Even Donald Trump goes public and says that Obama does not want to defeat ISIS because if we look at American foreign policy, we could see the major objective being to get rid of Bashar al-Assad inside of Syria. Of course, the United States answered back with the defense chief saying that he welcomes the Saudi Arabia offer to give troops on the ground inside of Syria because it will be beneficial to the United States. We know between these major super countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, their anger, their hatred for each other has caused massive divisions, proxy wars, and chaos all throughout the Middle East. This is mainly happening because Saudi Arabia and Turkey, the two major forces who are calling for an invasion of Syria right now, are also led by mainly a Sunni-run government. The Iranian Syrian governments are mostly Shiite-based governments. And right now, this decision is happening because the Russian forces, Iranian forces, and Syrian forces are making significant headways against the rebels inside of Syria. Inside of Aleppo, which was once a major rebellion stronghold, with major forces trying to get rid of Bashar al-Assad fighting in. The Russians, Syrians, and Iranians have surrounded this city. This was the major stronghold, and now the rebels inside of Aleppo are very close to defeat. They are about to give up. And if Aleppo falls from the rebels and the Syrian government gets it back, the war is close to over. And that's why the Sunni-led coalition is trying to intervene because they don't want Shiite control of Syria. And that's why they are calling for this invasion. That's why they are calling for ground troops inside of Syria right now, because the war in Syria is about to be over. The Russians, Iranians, and Syrians are making significant headway, and they're about to defeat the rebels, which are, again, ISIS, Syria, al-Nusra, paid mercenaries in the region. And that's why we're seeing Saudi Arabia and Turkey pushing the rebellion to stop peace talks, to leave the negotiations, because they do not want the Syrian government to be Shiite in any way, shape, or form, because they see that as a threat against them. There's also a silent economic war happening right now between all the forces that we just mentioned, with Saudi Arabia and the United States pushing and pumping oil. They are causing the price of oil to go down. Other countries like Russia and Iran, which are dependent on the sale of oil, their economy is being hurt tremendously because of this financial economic warfare that Saudi Arabia and the United States is pushing against them. But Russia is answering back, and they have just stolen Saudi Arabia's crown, or China, and are selling oil to China right now in yuan, and China has just made a deal with Russia over Saudi Arabia, pissing off the Saudi Arabians even more, and now Saudi Arabia is trying to hurt Russia financially by making oil as cheap as they can. This, of course, this economic warfare is causing global economic chaos, not only in Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia, but also here in the United States, and this is all for a battle for Syria. Even in the United States, we have politicians saying that Saudi Arabia and Turkey are a greatest threat are a greatest danger to world peace. We have even Democrats saying that we need to stop aligning ourselves with Saudi Arabia. As we know, there are many people within our government who are trying to declassify the 28 pages of the 9/11 Commission report, which, according to many people, documents how Saudi Arabia financed the attacks of 9/11. So why is the United States pushing for more chaos, pushing for more proxy wars, pushing for more divisions, which could lead to a very chaotic, dangerous situation in the region, especially with Russia, Iran, and Syria going against the United States, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia. This is an extremely dangerous situation that we're not hearing in the mainstream media, but you're hearing it here because this news is provided for you and by you and supported fully by you. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for going to wearechange.org/donate and donating and giving Bitcoin and keeping this news fully free and independent for you. Thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have a lot more content coming here your way on youtube.com/wearechange.